and welcome back to Jibber Jammin'. I'm Travis.
I'm Jen.
Sophie.
And today we have a special guest, Paul.
Hello.
So Paul was my co-host, is my co-host to the Byte North, which is a YouTube channel that we upload. We do a lot of gaming, some vlogs, and some other things that we can talk about later in the podcast. So today we're going to talk to Paul about YouTube and more of the YouTube creator side of things. So I know that, Paul, you were into YouTube before you and I were. So I guess we can start there.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about...
First day I was ever on YouTube, ever.
Sure, yeah.
2005, like before Google bought YouTube.
Okay.
Me and my brother made stupid little skits with his very old airsoft guns.
Okay.
And we just uploaded those onto YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
We were like 14, 15 years old maybe? No, probably not that young, but as a family we always kind of recorded shit. My parents had hundreds of VHS tapes of home videos.
Right. And
it started with us taking the big shoulder camcorder out into the woods, like trying to make Blair Witch with squirrel stuffies and stuff like that. When YouTube came along, we were like, no way, we can share these? Oh, it was really cool.
Awesome. Yeah. So going from like a home movie style to more of like trying to cater to a specific audience, where do you think you made that sort of a transition?
I made that transition, and I remember it specifically was in grade 10, because we had this thing amongst our group called Paulisms, because I would say really stupid shit all the time.
Right.
And that turned into a show called Paul Answers All. Okay. And I would answer questions completely erratically and incorrectly. Like, why are apartments called apartments if they're together? And right. I think it was remembered. I think I said they were built apart from each other and stuck together with mints afterwards. I can't. It was so old, but that actually got some comments and discussions and ridicule. It's like, why aren't these edited? You need an intro. Blah blah blah.
Oh, okay.
So that was my first exposure to it.
Cool.
And it wasn't even video game related, which is where we are now at this point. But what about yourself? I kind of want to put that question around the table too.
Right. Well, why don't
YouTube's in everyone's lives.
I should start?
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I guess really I got interested in YouTube like around after I was out of high school. Probably around the time I moved somewhere with decent internet access.
Oh my god,
yeah. Because so it would have been when I first moved to Kingston. I started watching like Game Grumps and people like that, and like other channels too, like what's that? Primitive Technology.
Yeah. Mm.
Things like that, and it seemed so accessible to me to be able to like I feel like I want to do that. I don't know. I think there was a lot in me as like a young person wanting to like entertain, and I felt like YouTube would be that for me. Like I could
feel like that's still there. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Always got to be on.
So I definitely feel like it would have had to been, I guess, 2011, 2012 was when.
Still a fair time.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So Jen,
I've never created anything for YouTube. Honestly, I used to have a blog. That's about as far as it goes to, putting creative content out on the internet. But like my first interactions with YouTube mostly was stealing music from YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube to MP3.
I've never actually done that before.
Oh, neither have I.
It's so easy.
I still do that. There's just like one song, because I don't have Spotify or Google Play or anything like that, because I'm very I'm a collector, like in terms of, well, you guys know, you've been in my home. Like I like to have things. So in terms of music, my music library on iTunes is like 30,000 songs or something like that. I just have to have it. So if there's something that I want, I'm like YouTube, and then I'm like YouTube MP3. And then
Even just the ability to put it on a USB or something and bring it physically somewhere with you means a lot, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I like to just be able to pull it up and be like, oh, I know that song.
I have a question though. Can you do that for video too from YouTube? Can you just download a video from YouTube?
I don't know.
You can because people re-upload stuff that creators will delete like a little while later, like Trisha Paytas.
But is that because they've recorded it through like open broadcast?
They could do desktop capture. There would be no way of telling.
I guess.
For sure.
I'm not sure. The frustrating thing about YouTube to MP3 is because like there used to be a really solid one, probably around 2012, 2013. There was a great one, and then copyright infringement, it disappeared, and now there's all these different ones, but they all suck.
Is that like LimeWire?
The great one was like mostly white with some blue.
Yeah, and I think it was literally just called YouTube to MP3.
Yeah, I remember that one being amazing.
Yeah, and now it's gone. And all the other ones are like pop up. And I'm like, my computer's gonna fucking die, like because I'm destroying it with downloading this stuff probably. But no, the YouTube was. I remember it's kind of like Vine and TikTok now. But do you remember the earlier days of YouTube where it was like Timmy bit my finger or whatever it was called? Charlie bit my finger.
Yeah, that's sort of
all of that stuff. Or like salad fingers.
Yeah, so many cat videos.
Yeah. That's funny because like salad fingers and cartoons like that were originally on other websites like Newgrounds and Albino Black Sheep and things like that.
Oh, Albino Black Sheep.
Do you remember Albino Black Sheep? Okay, so I guess technically, if I'm looking back at that, that's probably where I started with like online video. It was Albino Black Sheep for sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think mine was probably Salad Fingers. Stupid websites. I don't think it's even on YouTube, but there was like that badger.com.
Yeah.
Just crap like that.
Weeble and Bob.
Yep, I think I remember that one.
Yeah. Crazy Frog.
I don't remember that. Oh, wait, okay, yes I do. You're pulling things out of my memory. But yeah, we would just like, be stupid high school kids, like the latter half of high school, and we'd just get high and we'd be like, badger.
Wow.
Or Salad Fingers, like, oh man, this is so crazy. Is it? Like,
they still make Salad Fingers.
Do they really?
They still make it.
Still working at it.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
And see if it's still as cringy and weird as it was.
I thought it was legitimately scary. Like,
really?
Yeah.
It was eerie, but I don't think it was scary.
No, I was like scared of it. I really didn't like it.
It's like caressing a rusty spoon.
Yeah.
Unforgivable.
Yeah, I watched that the other day on a stream.
It's so bad. It's this guy. He's doing these weird rants. They're like super sexist and they're just super sexist.
Curly fries.
But it's like a bit that he's doing.
Okay.
He's telling a story of like him and his hose kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they would have started on another website, but then were quickly moved to YouTube, I think, or they were on YouTube originally and moved to those sites. But
I watched their first video recently, and it was 2007, so they're probably on YouTube. Yeah,
I remember it was definitely up before 2007 though. I think
maybe.
So do you think that YouTube, now that stuff like TikTok exists for those short video, punchline videos, do you think that YouTube is in danger of growing stale compared to other outlets like TikTok and Instagram?
Do you go first?
I don't think so. I actually think it's kind of the opposite right now. TikTok has been around for X amount of time.
Yeah. And
it's actually starting to wane off.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily the user engagement, because the influencers have been made on that site and they're staying strong. Yeah. But I think the user base is not growing right now.
Oh, okay.
And things like Snapchat, even Facebook now with the way you can do stories and stuff on that.
They're all the same kind of, like the same setup, like Instagram, Facebook,
Agreed.
Snapchat.
It's like, how can we just copy this without getting sued?
Yeah.
Change one little thing. But I think the Instagram culture and YouTube and stuff, they're kind of doing well at dominating that scene. And TikTok is doing its best to keep up.
Yeah.
But
I think TikTok is like blowing up though. Like
I think it is,
money
but I suppose it's a different way. So you can't have someone like the only YouTuber I can pull out is like PewDiePie, whose videos I'm sure are
I watch his videos like every day. Usually they're around
like 10 minutes. Yeah.
Between 10 and 20 minutes.
Whereas on TikTok, you only have 15 seconds to 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So you can't have the same type of content.
No.
So I guess it's really different in that way.
And usually what blows up is things that a whole group has done. Or the chain of people have gotten together and it comes out as like a shared meme on TikTok.
Yeah, the trend.
It takes all of those people. So it's a different kind of like popularity in my mind.
Yeah.
But there are definitely people reaping rewards for sure.
But then you look at people like Pink Guy who did the Harlem Shake, and that was sort of the same thing. I feel like everything's so related now that it's like it's hard to say what's going to take from what. Like I feel like YouTube in general is turning into more of like a corporate sort of like cable.
Yes, because you're not allowed to swear without getting demonetized.
Yeah. There's so many rules now, and like
you can't talk about sex and stuff like that. And so all these channels that used to be really great are now having to be family friendly, just so that they can make money from AdSense, and they don't have to rely on sponsored content that they don't necessarily believe in. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I didn't even know that. That's really stupid. Don't you think it could just be like they could put the warning on it, and then
it's not good enough. All they can do, like they can blur out words and that kind of thing, but like that's the best they can do.
A lot of times, actually, if you beep a word, it'll pick up
the beep.
It'll pick up the beep and still demonetize you, even though you beeped it out.
Yeah.
So there's a thing that's happened about twice now with YouTube that people call an adpocalypse, and it's where the people who are doing their advertising on YouTube and advertising on people's YouTube channels wanted to, I guess, moderate what videos that
their ads were showing up on.
So like you have somebody
like they don't want to be associated with something bad.
Right. So I think what happened originally with Adpocalypse is there was this YouTube Kids, and there was this thing that was happening called I could very well be wrong on this, so don't take this like listener, don't take this as like gospel, but I'm pretty sure what happened was there was this thing where there were people uploading inappropriate videos to YouTube Kids.
That sounds familiar.
And Coca-Cola was sponsoring these videos, so people were like, Coca-Cola, what the hell? Why are you sponsoring this for children? And then Coca-Cola was like, Coke. Stick to killing Colombians.
I
don't do this. Yeah. They're like, we're not down with this. Like, things have to change on YouTube's end. And then other people were following Coca-Cola's lead. And it screwed over people who, like, especially people doing, like, comedy YouTube videos. Like, there's a lot that goes into comedy, right? Like, you can't just have dry, boring, shitty comedy. You know what I mean? You can't. Like, people aren't gonna only find that funny. And then, so there are people who are making their money doing comedy on YouTube who now can't say this and can't do that. And you can't show this. Like, you can't show a gun, but you can hold up your fingers like this and make a gun movement with your fingers, and that's fine. So, like, you can't have, like, props, you know? Like,
it's crazy how much, well, I guess it's pretty average in capitalistic societies, but, like, the crazy amount of control, like, ad revenue has on videos.
It's nuts.
And, like, the pull that, so I see it all the time on Twitter, like, a certain brand will be called out for having ads on, so-and-so's TV channel, usually Fox. Now with everything that's going on in America. Like, how dare you, advertise on whatever her name was, Lori Ingram's show, and then all of these advertisers got pulled from her show. Like, it's crazy the amount of power that, like, the public has in terms of putting pressure on, corporations.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's always really funny when you're watching a YouTube video and so it'll be like, say you're watching someone who has a vegan YouTube channel and it's a vegan video, and then the ad before is for like deli meats or like Wendy's or something. You're like,
the new Whopper.
So I don't think this person approved that ad at all.
That's
all of my ads pop up in French for some reason on YouTube.
I get that sometimes.
I'm getting that on Spotify this last week.
Do you watch like French YouTubers?
No, I think it's because my phone might be something to do with where my phone's coming out of it.
Yeah, I think it's confused about the region because it's so close to the Quebec border. Probably.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes it pops up and says, "Are you using Facebook in Montreal?" But it's me. It's my iPhone, and I'm like, "Well, I'm in Kingston, but it is me."
Actually, yeah. When Sophie will log into my email or something to check something or to send me something, and then I'll get a notification on my phone saying somebody near Montreal, Quebec is logging into your
that's accurate.
email. I'm like,
someone on this side of Canada.
Yeah.
Trying to log into
someone
your
in this
email.
country.
Okay.
So you guys have a YouTube channel. What's your experience in terms of the people that watch it? Like, have you ever had any like bad engagements with like trolls? Is that a thing on YouTube?
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I'd say so.
We've had people comment. I feel like we haven't had a lot of like really bad things, but we have had people comment like, "You're doing this wrong. If you just do this, it would be better." Or
this
like,
looks like garbage.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Especially when we were doing like capturing to a VCR to change this old school resolution, and then through a capture card into the computer, trying to record like the N64 and old stuff.
Yeah,
it was always really tough, and it ended up looking like shit. I won't lie.
I don't think it even looked too bad.
No,
like it looked old, but the game's old.
Yeah, respect the hustle. Like, we're recording this podcast in your kitchen.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously it's not going to sound the same as somebody that's got the money to go into a studio. Like, respect the hustle. Everybody's trying to,
We have a place like that in Kingston, too. Like,
there's a bunch of places,
But on the other side of the coin, like, I remember and am affected by more of the good things that came out of it.
For sure.
Like, big time.
So,
friendships, even.
Yeah.
Like
so, can you give an example of, like, a friendship that you formed?
Yeah. So, there's a fella who went by Mighty Bear, Almighty Bear. His name's Ben. He lives in Manchester, UK. And he liked our Minecraft videos. And he was like, hey, like, he'd comment on every video, like, hey, like, this is really good, and blah, blah, blah.
I want to play with you guys. What's your server?
Yeah, he'd want to play with us, and if we had any questions for the audience, he would answer them. And he was just all around a really good dude. Like, I still talk to him. And we haven't made a Minecraft video in 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have him on Instagram. He works on cars. Like, he does, like, he paints cars. Like,
even I used to like talking to him.
Yeah, Sophie.
He had a crush on her.
Yeah, he had a crush on Sophie.
It's like Sophie.
Yeah, every time is that Sophie? Is Sophie coming around?
Put her on the mic. What a bird.
Yeah.
What a bird.
Mate,
so
he'd be like, mate, your bird's a bird.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but he's a good kid. Like,
he's fun.
Yeah, he's
I would love to visit him if we ever go around Manchester.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a big one. I mean, we've hung out with people like online from like Australia, and like it's cool to be able to meet people through that, like all around the world kind of thing. I feel like that's one of the big things that we've taken from it.
Well, that happens all the time. So this is just an example, not necessarily through YouTube, but gaming in general. Like, my boyfriend lives with someone whose name is Joe and Joseph.
Right.
But they met. They were playing something online. I don't remember what it was.
Right.
But that's how they met. Joseph lived in, like, Alberta, I feel like. I'm totally getting this wrong.
Crazy.
But it was, like, on the other side of Canada, not in Ontario. And now they live together.
That's cool.
Like, that's wild. Because I was like, how did you guys meet? And he was like, online. And I was like, excuse me? Strangers.
So back to, I guess back to creating YouTube. I just there's somebody yelling outside that's throwing me off. Basically, when we started the Byte North, where did you have your mindset on like what was going to happen, or like
what did you want to accomplish?
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, we wanted to obviously create like a memory book or some sort of photo album in a sense, because I like looking back at stuff like that. Okay. But there was no doubt that there was a sense of wanting to make it big and get popular for sure.
Yeah.
And looking back now, I think it was a little bit clouded / blinded by that. Thought it would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
But it humbled me finding out over the weeks and years how not easy it was.
Yeah.
And then it became much more like, this is for me, this is for us, Rawi and I.
Okay.
Which is a good thing.
So that being said, like how much time a week would you put in to like when we were going strong, like would you say how much time would you say you put into it?
Including, you coming over and us recording?
Yeah.
So, okay. So you would come over and the average session was 5 or 6 hours of sitting. We would get maybe 3 different games, 2 or 3 episodes of each game. So 6 hours, I'd say there.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 days of that. And then it was like an hour and a half to 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours every night of editing.
Okay.
So 26,
so it's like almost
like 30, 35 hours a week.
It's like a full-time job. Yeah.
And it was, sitting at the computer, eating, having a beer, chatting with other people, and just picking away at editing. So A, I could have been faster. B, I enjoy it doing it. So it didn't feel like...
Yeah. I don't think it ever felt like that.
And I worked a part-time job kind of thing. I was barely just into the trades, I think, near the end of it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I think, I don't think I ever saw it as a job, but on my end, I really just showed up and like talked and played games, right? Like for me, because you did all the editing, really I was just,
Well, that's kind of this podcast. Like you do all the editing and I come here and talk.
Yeah, but
I'm in charge of our social media, but that's it.
Yeah. That's not something I like doing. So
social
kudos to
See,
people.
I'm good at that stuff because like
you did, exactly.
I'm a photographer, like as a hobby, so I like my Instagram account is the hustle.
Right.
So.
There you go.
Okay. So what kind of YouTube does everybody watch? We'll start on. We'll go around the table this way.
Like some soft porn and
just in the edge of what YouTube allows.
Just before it gets deleted. No. Oh my god, I actually have to think. I'm pretty like typical like white girl. Like I like I like
Don't throw me under the bus with you.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I'm pretty sure mine's vastly different.
Oh, it will be, yeah. So I like stuff like what I eat in a day and like morning routines and like stuff like that. I have one YouTuber that I watch a lot now for like her workouts and stuff, but like I also mainly like picked her workouts because she's really pretty.
Right.
So.
Okay.
No shame, right?
Is that German girl?
It's that German girl.
The booty girl?
The booty. She's like, we're going to work on booty today. So I like that. I also like really popular YouTubers as well, like PewDiePie, Shane Dawson, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna add to the question, and I want to add, if you had any resources that you needed to do it, what type of YouTube would you do? Like, what type would you upload?
I would probably do like that kind of stuff. Like if I had like a nicer apartment.
Would you do like
and stuff.
daily vlogs?
I don't know if I would do vlogs. I think I would do more like stylized videos. Like,
okay.
Like house tours and stuff like that. Like,
so you
hey,
tour
I'm
other
Sophie.
people's
Welcome to my
houses?
crib.
Yeah.
No. I just mean like the basic girl stuff. Like or I really like the videos where people they'll like try a bunch of stuff from like a brand, like a clothing brand, and sort of like review it. So that's kind of lame, but that's the kind of videos I like.
The thing is,
I like
these
these pants and I
audience,
don't
right?
like these pants.
Yeah. There's a huge audience for it. It is oversaturated somewhat, but I don't know. That's the kind of stuff I like to watch because it's simple, and those people they almost feel like your friends in a way because they're very casual as well.
Right.
So that's kind of nice.
So that's what you would upload.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that'd be the easiest. I would maybe want to do workout videos, but I'm not at a point where I could be giving workout advice. Right. I would have to do like actual training and stuff.
Yeah. I'd be like, let's go hiking. And I'd be like, look at that tree.
I feel like Jen would be really good at like travel vlogging.
That's where I'm gonna
go.
Oh. Okay. So Paul, aside from like what we're able to do, so what do you watch on YouTube, and what if there was money was no option type deal? What would you do?
First half of the question, it's a pretty equal distribution between video game relating to like news or whatever, up and coming,
right?
Cooking and automotive. Every day I come home, I'll come home from work, clean up, whatever, sit down, and I'll watch at least 2 cooking videos from pretty specific channels.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I'm salivating. I got to make dinner. I like it. And I'll try, and if I want to make something specific, I won't look up recipes on Google. I just type what I'm cooking into YouTube and learn about it really quick.
Yeah.
That kind of, it stems back to what YouTube means to you. For me, it's like, it's TV, it's research.
Yeah.
It's everything. YouTube's great for that.
Yeah.
But I digress. So I like watching those things the most. A little bit of space and cosmology and astrology stuff when it's late at night or whatever.
Yeah, because you share a lot of those to me.
I love quantum theories and shit like that. But and what was the other half of it?
It was what would you do on YouTube?
It would be a cooking show.
You do a cooking
absolutely
show?
Love to do a cooking show.
Okay.
What kind of food?
That's a good question because I almost don't know if I'd want to be limited. It would.
If you look at people like Alex, right? Like anything.
Yeah.
Right?
So he's almost a scientific approach.
Yeah.
And it's meticulous.
He has blue fridge theory.
Yeah.
What?
Alex French guy cooking or something. You should check it out. You'd love it. I think
He writes down like flavors as like scientific equations almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like how to achieve this in your cooking. And like he's got this fridge and it's got like a blue screen on it where he uses a white marker and he writes everything out on the blue fridge.
Yeah. We'll take a topic and work at it for like months.
See, I'm the type of person that just dumps spices in. I don't measure them. So I actually got mad at my boyfriend that he was like measuring out, what was it, like garlic powder? And I was like, just dump it in!
Shit's good.
I was like, that paprika? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it tastes like nothing. So
But, like,
come on. Do not.
But when you're baking though, I mean like...
Baking's different because
different.
baking is chemistry.
Yeah.
So Alex will spend like a month on pizza dough and like fly around the world cooking at different
That's so
restaurants.
cool.
And,
Learning
like,
about it. Yeah.
It's pretty neato.
Yeah.
But I think that would be my answer.
Yeah,
I really want to
cooking.
travel. That's something I need to get to in my life.
yeah.
And it would be a cooking show on world cuisines and like areas and stuff like that.
Do you remember?
It's like
Do you remember Solo Travel Blog?
Yes.
The Game Grumps were a fan of him. And he's like, "That's some nice gauchapone."
Yeah. What's the saying I remember?
I can't remember either. But he was this really funny dude. He lived in like Japan, and he'd go out and he'd eat specific things.
It's something like, and that's a fine ass pudding right there.
Yeah, he did like this commentary.
One of
It
the
was just, like
finest, some might
really
say.
weird.
Yeah.
It's like if there was anything less perfect than this, then I feel like the world would implode.
Yeah, it's a little dry nowadays.
Yeah.
It has not changed one bit.
No, but he was a funny dude.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my guilty pleasures, I guess, would be to smoke a lot of weed and watch Vine compilations
Yeah.
on
Always
YouTube.
funny. Yeah.
Okay.
But you see how YouTube has now coagulated that and been like, well, we
Yeah,
got this.
it's ours
We'll
now.
cater
Yeah.
that media.
And it's
You
sort
just
of,
enjoy
and
it.
it's happening with TikTok too. Like if you
Mhm.
watch the Vine comps, there's stuff that's like TikTok, and I'm like, no, I have TikTok. Like I don't need to do that.
Exactly.
But yeah, if you pulled up my YouTube, it's just like all the recommended
Mhm.
videos are just Vine compilations, and they're funny names too, like Vines that cured my cancer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I use YouTube mostly, like you kind of said, for instructional things. So like if I have a plumbing issue, I'm just like, how to fix
Straight
this,
up,
or
yeah.
like
Yeah.
if there's something wrong with my car, I'm just like, what is this? Can I fix it myself? Like,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, YouTube's become really handy for me, like as a homeowner. Like, if I can fix it myself, I will. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to call somebody in to do it if I don't
No.
have to.
Too expensive.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like I looked up how to change light switches, like if they were dying. Do you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
wires behind the light switch. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, that looks pretty easy. I probably won't die. So, I mean, I'll just do it myself.
Nice. Okay, and what would you do?
Oh,
on YouTube?
if I had like a limitless amount of money, I would 100% like travel the world, and I'd make a YouTube channel that caters more towards like the popular history of where I'm going.
Yeah.
So I'd just be like,
So
okay,
it's like a little history
we're
lesson
in
too.
Romania, and like this is what's happening. And then
I
it
could
was,
totally
Great
see
letters.
you doing like a
Yeah.
history channel like on YouTube.
that was my
Yeah.
dream when I was younger.
You could do it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You
The
could,
next time you
could
go
even-
somewhere,
you could
you could
buy
apply
a
for it,
green
yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
If you're
You
allowed
buy
to
a
go
green
anywhere
screen
again.
and just put what you're talking about behind you.
Yeah, because like
Pretend
Devin
you
and
were
I
there.
were gonna go to Jordan, and like where they filmed like all of the Star Wars movies,
Mhm.
like in the
Yeah.
desert in Wadi Rum, and I was just like, oh, this would be so sick to like,
That'd be cool.
yeah.
You should just do it. The next time you're allowed to travel somewhere, just fucking do it, bro.
Just film that shit.
Well, when I was in Iceland, we tried to like look at where they would have filmed the Viking show, but apparently that's filmed in Ireland. So I was already there, and I didn't know that it was filmed in Ireland. But
next time.
But yeah, I would 100% have a show where I was just like, "Hey, cool cats and kittens, we're in the Netherlands." And, like,
That's pretty
whatever
cool.
has happened. Yeah,
Pretty cool. Yeah.
I think so. I think fairly similar to Paul, where I watch a lot of gaming and gaming news, but I do watch a lot of like nature, like people out like trying to survive out in the wild. And
okay.
I do also watch a lot of like.
Not those guys that were going around touching the trees. And being
No, not nature one. No, but like there's primitive technology and channels just like that. And then I like to watch like camping channels, like guys who will go out on like a 4 or 5 day adventure, and like they film what they're doing. Like one guy, he brings his dog along, and like they go fishing and like camp, and I'm so jealous.
You know what else you watch a lot of?
What's that?
On YouTube? You watch those like top 5 or top 10 like ghost stories
Hell
or
yeah.
creepy
I
things.
so yeah. Sometimes
used to watch
It's a guilty
And
pleasure.
they're so
They're like
cheese.
scratches.
yeah, they are fun.
I wonder
They're
what
fun to
number 2's
watch.
going to be.
And then you'll get scared if you watch them at night.
Sophie will come creeping behind me while I'm watching them.
What if
Be
number
like,
3 comes in?
Yeah.
Or 2?
Yeah, I like being spooked. That's fun. That's
I
always
like
a
the
fun
feeling
feeling.
also.
So yeah, I guess mainly video games and like, there's one that I like watching. It's called Dolly Mean. He's like a diver, and he searches for like shit that people have lost, like in rivers and in the ocean and stuff, and he finds some really cool stuff. He's found like murder weapons and stuff too, like, so that's pretty cool. So I guess if money was no option for me, I would do the camping thing. I think I would I'd camp in northern Canada. I'd camp like wherever I could camp. And
I find it funny that the stipulation of money not being an option led you to the least money oriented answer.
Yeah.
And
well,
that's
because
pretty
you have to travel.
Grounded. Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's
I
about
guess.
it. You have to
Because
travel
like
for
there are
everything,
people that
right?
camp in Iceland, and it's pretty like rugged because it's cold.
Yeah.
And windy, really windy.
And like camping gear is expensive.
Yeah, it gets up there when you
It's
get
true.
to like the thermal gear and stuff, like stuff that can be used in the Arctic.
So like I don't think it's that cheap of a one to do. I mean,
And you would not be able to have like a real job, right? Like,
No.
If that was your
yeah, exactly.
So you'd have to support that.
But I mean, YouTube would become that. But like, there's one like even one guy I watched, the guy who brings his dog along, he bought a lot of land and he camps on his land and he like builds forts and stuff. And I think that's what I would love to do.
Do you ever watch those videos where they're building like, I don't even know, it's like sped up really fast and they're like digging little rivers around the moats around the
Mud pools.
I know what you're talking about.
underground
Yeah.
I love
tunnels.
those videos.
Yeah,
Those
they're
are
like
so
the
sick.
primitive technology videos.
I love those.
Yeah.
It's crazy how you nailed the imitation of the sound of them hitting things
Yeah.
and fast forward.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that sound. Like this. Like,
Yeah,
Very
it's
ASMR.
funny.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that, so that would be mine, camping and being outside. I feel like if I could be outside more in my life, that would just be great.
Agreed.
You go off grid?
You could. There's a cottage.
I
for
would
sale.
want to go off grid because how are you uploading and everything like
Yeah.
that?
No, you used to
No,
land
I like coming back to like my home base and everything.
Yeah.
But to go out on an adventure,
Mhm.
it.
that's definitely something I would do. Okay. So, do you guys have any questions for Paul about YouTube or what he's done?
My biggest one was about trolls, but I
Trolls.
guess you haven't had the negative experience
No.
that I've had as someone
As
that
a
puts their
Twitter
content.
person.
Well, no, and even my blog, like when I put content out there, if somebody that like didn't like that content got a hold of it, and it like one time it really blew up. Like I had an article that got like 500,000 views
Yeah.
because somebody posted it on like some subreddit basically, and I got like attacked. And then the people that I was in a band with at the time, because that information was also on my Twitter that I was in a band,
Right.
they got sort of threatened.
Oh, jeez.
They don't know about that, I don't think, but they
Yeah.
were like, we'll come and get all of you. And I was like, okay, so that's when I had to go like anonymous on Twitter to like protect the people around me.
What was it? I feel like you've told me before, but now I just can't remember.
They were
Like
men's rights activists.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Incels.
Yeah.
I think, well, I mean, yeah. I feel like the biggest troll lately that we've come across was, we did a video where we went on a hike and we went to the hellholes. And somebody was like, "Oh wow, like thanks for showing this video. It was so shaky, it made me want to vomit." And
don't watch it, bro.
I'm like, you watched it for
to
one,
completion, apparently,
and you commented on it, and that's
Thank
good
you.
for
Yeah.
us. So
that looked so cool. I remember when you guys went there.
yeah,
I really liked your live action stuff that you did,
I feel like we
I
should.
I enjoyed that a
Yeah,
lot.
me too.
and the little skits and stuff that you
I'd
would
like
do.
to do more of that.
Yeah, me
And,
too.
I think it helps grow not just the channel and like the content, but us as actors / narrators.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's really engaging for everybody, which is nice.
Remember when we went to the cat cafe?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah,
I
I like
miss
that
that
one,
place.
Yeah,
I think that one's doing pretty well as well.
yeah, because
View-wise,
people said on the server, on this Discord server that Paul has, it's somebody was like, "Is that Rowie from the Cat Cafe?" Because they watched that video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Where do you think? So where we're at right now, where do you see? I know that we've talked about this before, but where do you see like our YouTube going? Like basically as a creator standpoint.
The Byte North.
Yeah.
A lot has changed since we slowed down. I wouldn't say stopped, but a lot of changes since we slowed down.
Yeah.
We both do a bit more streaming.
Yeah.
So that might be integrated a little bit, like highlights or archives. I'd like to do more of those vlogging things too, live action stuff.
Yeah.
Comedy.
So streaming, so we stream on Twitch, and that's something else that I feel like has come out of YouTube and Let's Plays and that sort of thing, is like a platform. Do you know about Twitch?
Kind of.
So it's basically it's like a live action YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're just talking to people who are watching you
You
live.
play the game.
Yeah. So yeah, Paul and I are doing a lot of streaming, and okay, so live action stuff.
Yeah.
What about your airsoft stuff? Could you ever film
That'd be
that
cool
in a
to
way?
put in. It's not something we've really thought about, but I'd like to do that. That's
Maybe
cool.
with a body cam or like
Well,
a
that's the
head
thing.
cam or
You
something?
can buy cameras for your gun
Mhm.
that'll track your bullet basically.
Gun cam.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be neat to integrate that in a way,
Like a head
especially
cam.
if we did games like COD and whatnot.
Yeah, because that could be cool. Because like there's a guy on Reddit. I can't remember his name. It's Walter something, but he does like the best kills that he's done in Skyrim, and I watch that shit endlessly because I think it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
That's something else that I forgot to mention that I watch a lot on YouTube is a lot of airsoft stuff,
Yeah,
like Dutch
sure.
the Hooligan and Silo and like a bunch of people.
Norwich.
Yeah. And they're freaking awesome, like
Yeah.
videos to watch. They're really like intense.
Mm-hmm. Makes you want to do
friggin'
that.
awesome.
They're freaking
They're
awesome.
friggin'
They're
awesome.
friggin'
You hang 10, bro.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with the live action stuff and streaming to video. I feel like YouTube has changed in that way too. Whereas like a lot of people who do the type of things that we did and do on YouTube have to also branch out in that way. Like you look at people like
absolutely.
like Sips, right? He went from doing just YouTube to streaming.
So just streaming.
And now he uploads his streams to YouTube. And I don't think he really cares what comes in from YouTube.
No, I wonder what else he's got going for him in that sense, because
Well, he still does a lot of stuff with the Yogs.
that's true. He must be working with them.
So here's a question: what makes someone on YouTube famous? Like, are they all like ground up
clue.
people, or some of them already have a base?
Yeah. So basically, it comes down to there are things that YouTube want you to do and say, and if you do and say those things, then they'll promote you.
Yeah, the
Unlock some
algorithm
doors.
promotes you
Well,
more.
basically unlock some doors for you.
They suggest you like things you might like, or like you watch this video, it's similar, that sort of thing. there's something in the algorithm that you have to follow to get your initial bump out there.
Yeah. If you're a base starter.
Yeah.
But then there's also people, so like BuzzFeed, for instance, is a huge conglomerate worldwide.
Yeah.
And then so people work for BuzzFeed, and then they go off and they start their own channels, and they get a huge boost from that, right?
Because they
other things as
like, how does someone like Shane Dawson?
He started like
he's dumb as hell.
He started
15 years ago.
Okay.
So he a mixture of getting lucky and the platform wasn't saturated
during the era where the grind actually paid off.
Yeah,
because you could beat people to the punch back then. Now it's like
now it's if you get chosen by YouTube God.
Yeah,
basically for the most part. Now we're a little cynical. I want to underline what we're saying by that.
Yeah, that being said, like
there's a lot of celebrities on YouTube now that get that instant boost, right?
Yeah,
I've seen channels get made who get like 100,000 subs without even putting a video out.
Yeah,
and like Game Grumps was one of them. No offense to them, but they made this channel because they were going to put extra videos on it, and they're like, everyone go sub to this so you can catch the first video. It makes perfect sense, but it's like, why did this YouTube account that has no videos gets 100,000 subs and then gets verified by YouTube? And they have no videos at all.
Yeah.
So I know on like Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that, you can buy followers.
Yeah.
Can you do that on YouTube?
You can buy subscribers.
You can buy bots, but then if YouTube finds out that they're bots, they'll just take them away.
They often do mass
Twitter does that
deletes
too,
as well. And then you'll see like creators.
It's really funny watching creators be like, "Why did I lose 1 million followers?" I'm like,
because
they were bots.
Content.
Also though, YouTube in the past has unsubscribed people from YouTube channels.
Okay.
Especially so if you're not like active on YouTube for a while, they just think you're a dummy account and they'll like unsub you from all your subs.
Oh.
So like if you're not watching videos for like 2 months, you could get unsubbed from all the people that you watch.
Huh. I think Twitter does that sometimes because there's people that get suggested for me to follow, and I was like, I was already following them.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
And I'm like, why did you kick me off their follow?
Yeah, because maybe they just think you're fake or,
Fake.
I'm anonymous.
Yo, you know what really sucks about YouTube?
What's that?
That there's now 2 ads at a time.
Yeah, a lot of times.
That sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks when it's the same ad again.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, yeah, that's true.
So I downloaded the Global app.
I mean, that's not YouTube, though.
No,
that's not right through there.
But this is an example of like the shitty advertisements. So I have the Global TV app through my cable subscription, and I was watching Rick and Morty, and 4 times in a row the same advertisement. I'm like, okay,
I get it.
And it's like 30 seconds each time.
Yeah.
And it's one of those coronavirus ones, like about
washing your hands.
Yeah, we're doing the best in Canada. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, Paul, there's this thing that we do at our YouTube channel, our podcast channel. Sorry. Where, for one, we try to think of something alien in alien news. So we do this week in alien news. So if you have anything interesting that,
like a fun
that
fact,
you've learned, like a
that
fun
you
fact
learned
sort
recently,
of thing that most people you don't think would know, let us know.
Okay.
Right now.
I don't even right now this second.
If this was like this last week or the week before that. But the government, the United States government, actually officially releasing the 2 or 3 videos of flying objects.
I said this last week.
So we said it last week.
Okay, perfect.
But we haven't uploaded yet.
Oh, well then I'll leave that for that week.
And that's
but,
literally alien news.
That's, I think, the last alien news I remember.
It doesn't have
to be about aliens.
Yeah. Alien to people. Like,
we
don't know.
Fair
enough.
Fair enough.
I can see where you're confused.
I don't even know how that started. I think we were drunk at the Duke. Somebody said this week in alien news, and I was like, I'm going to write that down. That's so funny.
Okay. A couple days ago, I think Joe Biden tweeted that he thought it would be really cool, like the XX Tyler guy or whatever his name was in Fortnite.
Oh. Yeah, I think I know.
There was an event in Fortnite where this rapper, music artist, was like really big and tall and dancing for everybody. Yeah. Joe Biden was like, well, that'd be really cool if I did that. And Joe Biden wanted to do this event in Fortnite with a giant 120 foot tall Joe Biden, but his staff was like, no, that's a really dumb. We can't do that.
You can't be a meme, Joe Biden.
Sorry, Joe.
Joe was like, well, maybe some other kind of virtual reality thing where, I quote, a rough quote, some other virtual reality environment where people won't feel pressured about the coronavirus and would like to meet Joe Biden. It's like so out of touch.
I mean, he is like 100,
Yeah.
right?
Isn't he like usually
absolute
confused?
gibberish. I want to meet him because he seems like he's got like Alzheimer's or
I think there are
dementia
some
or
rumors
something.
about that, but it's hard to say whether or not that's true. Or
I
that's
don't
something
think it
Donald
is
Trump
true. I
started.
think that it's being pushed by like spam bots on Twitter.
Like
Okay.
Trump and stuff.
Yeah.
Could very well
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't think of anything other than something really stupid, I guess, that a lot of people probably already know. But, you know, if you're like walking through the woods or whatever and you see like some trees have these like balls on them.
Yeah.
Burls or
It's a fungus.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's like toenail fungus, but for trees.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you have anything?
No.
No. I don't really have any alien news. No.
Yeah, I gotta come more prepared for that stuff.
Yeah. Well, we don't always do alien news, but what
Yeah.
we do always do is Am I the Asshole? And
Yeah.
usually Jen is really good at picking them, so I kind of just leave that to
I
her.
came unprepared. This one bugged me because it made me mad. Because
Okay.
I'm a staunch environmentalist.
So basically what's going to happen is she's going to read the Am I the Asshole? I think you know. 'Cause
I've heard a few,
you've
yeah.
heard a few.
And then,
So we
and
all
we'll discuss.
decide.
Usually Jen and Travis will agree, and I'll say no.
Okay, this one's not that good. I came unprepared because I was busy before I got here.
It's okay.
She's the asshole.
I'm the asshole. Am I the asshole? I cut somebody's water off
Okay.
because they were wasting it. Okay. So 30 years ago, my grandfather dug a well. It supplies our home and has a pump to supply water to a mini water tower thing to give our home water pressure. Another person built a house nearby, and there was an agreement for them to plumb into our fresh water supply for limited domestic use, i.e. cooking, cleaning, toilets, etc. So like the basic stuff. This agreement has stood for 10 years without any problems. So what happened? Well, the house next door sold. It's now starting to get hot, so the next door neighbor has been filling a swimming pool. I don't see a problem with this. What I do see a problem with is that they fill the pool up every day and they drain it every day.
What?
They drain the water every
They
day.
do.
Why?
And at
Like
first-
they drain the pool?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Pool
at
water
first
every
I
day.
was like, is it a kiddie pool? Because if it is, like, that's not a
That
big
makes
deal.
sense, yeah.
Okay, so based on my calculations, they're wasting close to 400,000 liters of water every single day. When I told them they can't waste water like this, they told me to go fuck myself because the water is free and nobody owns it. So I gave them a warning, showing them that the water supply actually did belong to us and it wasn't free after all. I was told to fuck off again. I watched as they filled their pool again and drained it again. I decided that I was going to turn their water off and the valve supplying their home, which is on our land. They now have no water whatsoever as they tried to fill their pool again this morning. They're now complaining and whining about not having any water. I told them that they can get a tanker and come fill their pool supply. Am I the asshole? I think
No,
I would
no
like to
way.
say
I
obviously
wanna
you're
clap
not
for
the
that one.
asshole.
No.
Yeah. No.
No.
However, I do
legally-
think you need a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legally, you might be in a little trouble.
Especially if they're drinking.
But,
that
you
water
know,
and stuff.
if
And
you
they
had-
were.
Okay.
So, yeah.
The thing about it, though, is there was an agreement for, like, domestic use, and that is definitely not domestic use.
absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
And,
You could flush toilets all day and never reach that amount of waste
No.
of water.
no,
No.
that's insane and unreasonable, and no, you're not the
I
asshole.
can't even think past why you would need to drain it every day. Do you
They're probably
specifically
just
go
avoiding
into it?
cleaning it.
Maybe somebody's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a shit every day.
It's not a pool. I think it's just a really big toilet for them.
Maybe.
And they're just flushing it once a day.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Where
No,
are they putting the
especially-
water that's
That was-
coming from the
I
pool?
don't know.
I liked hearing that story, but it was an easy one to determine that he was not an
Yeah.
asshole.
Yeah.
Okay,
Especially
I've
if
got
I
a-
would have
like,
done that. I would have
yeah.
done worse, I think.
I think maybe I have one more.
Okay.
I haven't read this one yet.
Did Reddit say he was the he wasn't the asshole?
Yeah.
Okay.
But all the comments were like, you need a lawyer. You need a
Yeah.
lawyer.
Yeah.
Like right now.
Yeah. Okay, so am I the asshole for making a joke about my boyfriend's sexual abilities with friends?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's quite
Right
a
away.
title. So
No, it depends.
No, it doesn't.
some backstory. My boyfriend, 24, and I, 26,
Don't care.
Yeah. have been seeing each other for a year, and the sex is frankly terrible. He
Oh,
prefers
no.
to have sex while we're both laying on our sides. I prefer doggy style or missionary, which we do sometimes, but he'll normally just start laying on his side after a minute. He's like, I can't come from this type of sex. And he also doesn't like to go down on me, so I normally only masturbate, which is frustrating for me since I give him head regularly and try to make sex enjoyable for him. I've dated 5 men in my life, and I've been able to come from sex with 3 of them, but not right away. We've been able to find different positions that work better for me, or if that doesn't work, then they would go down on me. I know I would enjoy sex more if he put more effort into it, since I've enjoyed sex in the past. I've talked to him about this countless of times, and nothing has really changed. He initially told me that I needed to be shaven and freshly showered for him to go down on me. So I did that, and he still only goes down on me every 2 months. I've also talked to him about not enjoying the positions we have sex in, and he doesn't care to try anything else. Jesus, this is a long backstory. The other day we were hanging out with 3 friends of ours, and one person... Why do you have their age? 30 female. Was telling us a story about how she had sex with a guy and she came, but he didn't. She mentioned how that made her feel like the job wasn't fully completed. My boyfriend then said, yeah, it's not enjoyable unless everybody finishes. And I replied and said, you've never cared about that in the past.
Oh!
Yike.
No, I changed my mind. That's
My one friend lightly laughed and another person said, oh, called out. I didn't think I made the situation very awkward or was overly rude, but when I talked to my boyfriend about it later, he was upset. He thought it wasn't their business and believed that I was talking shit about him. He also thought I made everyone feel uncomfortable with my comment. No. Where I'm coming from is that I was mildly offended he would say that when he doesn't care about my sexual pleasure at all. Why would he say that if he didn't care? I thought of it as kind of bragging that he makes me come when I can count on one hand the amount of times he has made me come. I also thought it was more of a throwaway comment that was a little sassy, but wasn't extremely mean or uncalled for. I understand it probably wasn't the time or place to mention it, especially not in front of 3 friends, but I'm also just tired of having unenjoyable sex. Girl, just break up with him.
Okay.
That's my
so no, definitely not the asshole.
She's not the
asshole.
She didn't even really, I thought maybe she said she was going to say something more detailed and inappropriate to friends. I'm like, maybe don't say that, but like that's a pretty offhand comment, and it's true.
Yeah,
and Sophie says
and he
that
brought it
shit
on
to
himself
me all the time, or to our friends all the time about me, and she's joking.
Yeah,
that's
so
well, I mean, she wasn't joking, but like,
so I think when it got to a point when it was brought up, and genuine discussion was brought up, and questions were asked, and solutions were thought up, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And especially with him saying X, Y, and Z. Those conditions being met and nothing changing still. Like, you're at the point where you need to start making actions to show any sort of progress.
Also, just don't talk a big game if you don't have one.
Exactly.
Like,
so
why would you be
why would you even say anything, right?
Just sit there
like,
quietly.
Like, bro, you know that you haven't made me come.
Sit there in shame, like,
just be like, ugh.
Guy sounds like a real fucking jerk.
Yeah.
Sexual interests are a big deal in a meaningful relationship, and if they're different, that's okay. But if they're actively not trying to work with each other, then it's almost worth just breaking up on that, as if it was like a difference in personalities.
If you're not gonna like actively listen to your partner,
no,
and then you should just
at least try.
Yeah, just curious about getting some.
Yeah, Sophie, are you listening? No.
Okay.
No, yeah, it is very important.
But I won't do that either unless the girl is showered. So I won't disagree with that. I don't care about the shaving thing, but showered, I wouldn't do that to somebody. If someone was going to be like that with me, I'm like, no, I'm going to shower. You don't deserve this. And I expect the same treatment.
Sweaty ass balls.
I expect the same treatment. So she's not the asshole. I don't think she's the asshole. She's put effort into it.
Yeah.
For sure. She's given it her all.
There's nothing worse than being like a woman and being like, okay, I can't come from just penetration. Most of us can't. And the guy being like, but what? Like, why not? I'm thrusting so hard.
Porno I want.
Yeah.
For a man, I don't think there's much worse than having someone just laying there almost like they're trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
With no reception, no interaction.
Yeah.
And then the same
that's
thing.
called dead fish, right?
Yeah.
Starfish.
I thought dead fish was like one person on their back. Doesn't do it.
It sounds like the same thing.
Yeah, it is. That is the worst. Because then you feel like you're like
Having
being
sex
used
with a dead
or,
body.
Yeah.
or just like wasting
Some
your
people are
time
into
and
that.
effort.
Yeah. Or like just not even wanted. Like, why am I
Exactly.
doing this
Exactly.
if you're not gonna pretend to?
Like they're not even looking at you. They're like,
And I'll withdraw.
They have their phone.
I'll withdraw from that mindset very quickly with a person.
Yeah.
If like there's a handful of instances where I feel pretty neglected, I won't be able to go back in that mindset. So I get pretty distant in that sense. So,
Yeah. We know a
It's
couple
important.
who talks during sex.
Like,
Just
how
Just
does
like
that work?
regular
How
like
was your
conversations, like about their kids or like whatever, right?
That's rough.
I don't.
Oh,
I wouldn't be able to do that. I don't think.
No.
no, this is fucking weird.
All right. So the first one, am I the asshole?
I think we agreed on all.
Neither
both of
person
them.
was an
asshole.
Yeah.
Neither asshole, no assholes.
Hey, good
this
job
week.
today, assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, not assholes.
I mean, not assholes.
All right, so I think that about wraps up Jibber Jamming this week. Thanks for coming on, Paul.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
Thanks
thanks
for having
for
me.
Thanks, Sophie and Jen, also. I mean, you're here every week,
Yeah.
so.
I'm a host.
I
for-
live here.
You can't get rid of me. So next week, I'm not sure what we're going to talk about, but we'll talk about something for sure.
We still gotta do the food episode.
Yeah,
Food.
pretty
Popular
food.
food opinions.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Mashed potatoes with custard.
Awesome. Okay, well, thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.